Okay, hello all. This is like my 10th attempt at this. Bear with me. My name is Jeffrey Wade. I am fixing to do the second assignment of Cloud Computing CPS 5130. I'm actually very excited, even though I've been doing this for hours. And repeated this many times. I'm very excited about this software, this OBS software. For about 4 or 5 years, I've wanted to start get into video logging and screencasting, like doing doing tutorials on programming in the different language, Python, Perl, C++, Linux system administration. But I haven't been able to find any. I couldn't for I was having trouble finding good screencasting software up until I was told about this OBS, Open Broadcast Software. Open Broadcast Software is was recommended to me by my lab partner, um, one of my lab partners, the guy who sits next to me, Blaine, in my class. He's a Windows guy, but he seems to be always doing stuff with PowerShell, opening it with the keyboard shortcut and doing stuff in class. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not a Windows person. I never used Windows. My first system was Plan 9 back in 1993 and 1992, and I've always used Linux systems of some sort, moving from Unix BSD to Linux. Um, it was back in the days of the AT&T BSD trial lawsuit over the original Linux. I mean original Unix. But anyways, so over the past 6 or 7 hours that I've been trying to do this, I've run into many problems. Um, Feeling my way out. Just some of them were just stupid mistakes. Like an hour and a half in, didn't realize what it was until afterwards. But as you can tell by all my FLVs, I have done quite a bit of these. Um, so uh, I am using a Ubuntu system. It's highly modified. I've written a bunch of scripts that um, C and C++, Perl, Python, even Bash scripts that'll modify the system as soon as it's installed, depending on what the purpose of the installation is. This is the only software operating system on the hardware itself, on the hard drive. Um, it's the sole purpose. I've had a lot of problems here completing this homework assignment. To be honest with you, it's been a really bad month for me too. Got stuck in a blizzard coming up I-75, the 22nd. It was like in on I-75 with a 60-mile traffic jam with 3,000 other vehicles, uh, and it's snowing like 3 inches per hour. Jonas hit. Uh, Anyways, we didn't get back from. We're back to we drove the next 3 hours that we were supposed to drive. It took us 42 hours to drive 3 hours. But we finally made it, and then we ended up leaving 3 days after what we were supposed to come back home. We didn't get back home to the 29th, which put it hurting on my schoolwork. But 2 days after we left, one of my good buddies he ended up dying in his sleep, which is just horrible. It's unbelievable. And then I get back to Chattanooga, and a week after I get back, my grandfather died. Friday, 2 Fridays ago. We buried him this past Saturday. And now my grandmother's in the hospital with double pneumonia. This is crazy. And you won't even believe this. Tonight, I'm over here talking, and I was to the point of delirium. I've drank a Rockstar. I've got some caffeine in me. I'm not as delirious as I was, but I started thinking about Ian Murdoch, and I had said something about Ian Murdoch. This is a Crunch Bang wallpaper. This is the Debian symbol. Ian Murdoch created the Debian Linux distribution, the Debian franchise, and he was probably one of the greatest programmers of the 1990s as far as what his impact was with creating the system and everything he did. And most recently, he worked on the Open Indiana project, which is an Oracle Solaris project, or excuse me, which is the open source version of what is now Oracle Solaris. Okay, and he died December 28th. I just found that out tonight. about 4 hours into doing this, commenting on this, commenting on something I don't remember, and then looked up, called him Ian McCormick, and looked his name up, and I was like, oh my God, he's dead! I could not believe it. He died December 28th. So this is a kind of a tribute to him too as well. This is a shebang hashtag exclamation point, which tells the shell when a script is ran what binary to pass the arguments that are located into the script to what executable file that the commands and instructions in the actual script are supposed to be passed to as an argument to the binary. So it'd be like user bin bash, or excuse me, user bin Python, user bin Perl, bin bash. Those are all synonymous with executable locations that are going to get passed instructions, which are located in the working script. But anyways, long story short, okay. So they call it the shell directive, shebang. But this is from Crunchbang. So let's get started here. So I'm using a Ubuntu system. It's the 3.19 kernel. I am in shell level 1. I am trying to complete homework number 2, and we're gonna start this up. Make sure this is recording. I have had this OBS software, even though I am very, very happy that I have this software. It uses up a lot of CPU. I only have a dual core in this computer. It's an Intel Sandy Bridge dual core, Pentium, and a B960, and its temperature ratio when it's supposed to cut off is relatively low for laptops. It's 80 degrees. It has no logical cores, no hyperthreading. It's only physical cores, 2 physical cores inside the one core. So it cuts off at 80 degrees Celsius, and as you can tell over here, this has been rising at 74, and my CPU usage is like 75 using the software. But probably just from lack of processing power. But I've experienced some problems here. I had the exercise done and couldn't figure out why my website wouldn't run, which made me just absolutely frustrated. So I started over, but I went back and watched the actual video. This video right here, and didn't understand what was going on, and then I finally figured out what I was doing wrong. But the library was closing, so I had to relocate down to the Starbucks. So for any of you people who see this is my first screencast, and there's probably going to be many more to come, even maybe after this class. I code, and I'm a polyglot. I code in about a dozen different languages. I've written software in about 7 different languages. Sometimes I have to review before I take on a coding project in a certain language, but nonetheless, I have. Let me see here. Oh, and the software, just in case anybody else who uses this and has had, run across the not being able to find screencast software up until recently situation. Here is the script that I wrote to install it. You have to get, what is going on with me? You have to get the PPA from a Kirill to get the FFmpeg, which OBS is relying on that. Okay, and then you of course get to update anytime you put in a PPA repository. You got to update your software list, and then you need to install the MPEG, and then do the same thing. Add the repository in the PPA for OBS Studio, and then install it. Okay. Then you're going to also have to install VLC Media Player if you don't already have it installed. Although it's kind of sketchy. Around the end of 12.04, Precise Pang Line, some programmers put in some type of Windows thing. So what type of Windows to connect to Windows servers for retrieving media off the internet, and it's made it kind of hackable. It's caused a security issue with the system. So you didn't hear that from me, but it's the truth. Okay. All right. Let's say fix that error. I don't know. I haven't had it on my system in 18 months. But, make sure this is running, just because it's running. It's recording. Okay, we're in there like swimmer, guys. Alright, so let's get this party started. So here's how it works here. we're going to go to Google Chrome. Okay, that's me running my mouth here. The purpose of this homework number 2 is to create and launch a Linux instance. Then perform the hosting of a static website, and then build a website with WordPress. And I think that is build a blog with WordPress. I think that is it. Okay, so let's get this party started. Oz, Amazon. Amazon. Okay. Y'all turn y'all's heads real quick. I don't want you looking at my I don't want you looking at my email address here. So I'm gonna log in with my Oz Management Console. I'm a returning user. Excuse me, this has been terrible. I've been sick. Bad stuff's been going on. I just moved into a new. I wish I could do this from my desktop. I have just got access to my desktop for the first time in 11 months. Sunday, the day after my grandfather died, I began moving into the studio apartment on the bottom floor of a house that had been converted into a triplex, and they don't have internet there. Today they're getting internet. Yesterday the guy who's like the main tenant. He's actually not the landlord. He's the main tenant. He's the landlord's brother. Is going to get EPB, the nation's fastest internet, hooked up. So I wish I could have waited a day to do this, but I can't because I need the grade. So I'll show you an incredible system. Okay, right here now, I have no running instances. I just went through and deleted. I got 2 security groups. I just went through and deleted. I kid you not. 7 different instances, either terminated or stopped or something. 5 key pairs. Excuse me. 7 security groups. Cleaned everything up. For this is going to be the run. I got a feeling this one is the one that's going to work. I'm putting my money on this one. I say that now, watch you mess up. Don't jinx yourself. So one of on the third or fourth time that what happened first is I couldn't get my website to come alive. Okay, I'm typing in the redirect, and then I was getting an error, and then it was telling me that there was something wrong with my web browser. Either my DNS host cannot be resolved, or something was wrong with my firewall. That's what it was telling me. I was like, what? So I definitely got frustrated, and the library was about to close. So I came down to the after-hours section and began doing another one, and got the thing to run, but then I could not connect SSH for some reason, as you can see now. Here's what SSH looks like, connected to your instance, okay? I couldn't get it to connect. Well, for some reason, I don't know why. The SSH wouldn't connect. I built the website and the SSH wouldn't connect, so it was kind of pointless then. I had to start another one, because you gotta have SSH, because you gotta connect to the actual instance in order to perform some administration via command line. Okay? So, with that said, continuing. This thing uses up a lot of processor and a lot of speed. I mean, a lot of power. And I was in the middle of doing my screencast, one of my screencasts, and the computer, the only time I've got it set to suspend is when it's so low on battery, it will suspend, and it does it automatically. I can't actually change that setting, but I got it to where it won't suspend at all unless that's the case. And I didn't have it plugged in. I was just in Starbucks at this time, the 24-hour section of this my school, my university. So that messed up my settings, and I couldn't figure out how to do about 5 test runs to try to get the volume to work. For some reason, my mix volume on this OBS software, as you can tell, mic auxiliary audio input was not working. after I got logged out, after I got my power went dead, and it automatically suspended me and logged me out of my session, I don't know why it did that, but it did. So I finally figured out what was wrong with it, and got back to work and still had a couple more errors. But anyways, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm in a graduate program, University of Tennessee, studying computer science. We are going to create a Linux instance. We're going to set up a Linux image. We're going to choose Amazon, even though I'm giving a dedication to Ian Murdoch here. We're going to choose Amazon, which uses Yum, the yellow update modifier, unlike the Red Hat, the newer Red Hat, and the newer Fedora, which now use DNF. They don't use Yum to handle package repository administration. The Amazon Linux also uses Yum. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to launch an instance. And that's right here. We're going to select that. And we're going to take the general purpose free tier. It's going to end up being we only get 5 gigabytes for the free tier, but this one's going to be set to 8. We won't use all 8. The basic configuration is good with it. There's the 8 gigabytes I was previously mentioning. Next tag instance, we're not going to create a tag instance. Security group. This is going to be Launch Lizard 1. We're going to do that. We don't want to do anywhere. We're going to do my IP for my SSH. Okay. Review and launch. Alright. Here's the Amazon Linux. Here's the preview of it. We're going to launch this. It's going to ask us for to enter a security key to verify security. We're going to download the security key. PEM RSA key. Launch. And no keys found, because I deleted all the keys. Create a new key. We're going to call this Greyhound Runs 360. That's right, the dogs run in circles. And we're going to download the key. Now I'm feeling like a hellbound bound kind of dog. Alright, launch the instances. Alright, now while the instances... we're going to go view this instance right now in the EC2 dashboard. Alright, so we have an instance. We're transitioning, whatever. We have an instance. Here's 2 of the ones that I've terminated. They're still showing. They even mentioned that on the website. You can terminate them, and it may take they will linger. You cannot actually delete the instance from your account. It will happen automatically, but you can terminate the execution of the instance and the volume of which data is stored on that instance. Okay, it is running, and as we check our status checks here, it is initializing. Right, so the name, our public DNS is EC25290, whatever this is. So we see this, we see that Greyhound Runs 360, disabled. Okay, that one's initializing. As it initializes, we're going to go to Services. We're going to go to the console home. Here are some other things that we're going to talk about in this tutorial and photo video log. S3 scalable storage in the cloud. Something we're going to do. We're going to create buckets. We're going to talk about Route 53, which we're not going to use, and we're going to talk about CloudFront, Global Content Delivery Network, which we're not going to use either, but we're going to very briefly mention it and show you where it's at. Or I should say I am. But you're along for the journey, whoever's watching. It has been a rough week. I've had 13 hours sleep since Saturday night. So, we have one key pair, we have one volume, we have one running instance. Let's see if our instance has initialized. Is it still initializing? What about our status checks? We have no status checks. Initializing status checks. Okay. So we're going to sit here and we're going to talk for a minute. about things. Yeah, so Ian Murdoch, unfortunately, um, is no longer with us. And he was an inspiration to a lot of people. He was an inspiration to, he really, believe it or not, I mentioned something about him on Kaora, the question and answer website, earlier or last year, in summer 2015, about him being being top three greatest programmers of the 1990s. Considering the fact of what he did and the impact of the Debian operating system. Um, and it is really sad to see him go. He got involved with Salesforce somehow, and was doing the whole Salesforce cloud computing platform. Uh, I can't think of what their API is called, but he was doing that. He was living in Indianapolis, last I heard. I don't know where he died at. I didn't look much into it. I've just been trying to get this done, but yeah, Ian unfortunately is no longer here. So we're gonna go to downloads, CD downloads, and we're gonna move our Greyhounds 360. Our runs 360. The dog runs 360. We'll move that to our home location. And boom. CD. And go next to that. And in case you didn't know, many explorers used to search for the Holy Grail, which was the Fountain of Youth in supposedly somewhere around Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Florida. And it was thought that if you drank out of this well or this magical water place where water came to, you would live forever. But we all know that's not true. No one ever found it. If they did, they don't let it be known. So, once to be known, the Holy Grail is Linux for life. The all-purpose kernel. That's what the Holy Grail is. Okay, still initializing. Gosh, what are you doing? Okay, excuse my humming here. So let's go back to services. Let's go to the console home. Readjust that. Let's go to this. Maybe it'll be done. Initializing. Keep an eye on this temperature. Look how what my process is. 93 and 95, 91. That is what the Open Broadcast software is doing to my CPU consumption, man. Running instances. It's still running. Okay, dpkgl grep SSH. Make sure I have a message client. I went a little crazy there for a minute and started bleeding things off my system because I was upset, didn't understand what was going on. I was wondering about like RSA keys, different stuff. So, cat, let me make sure I don't have this set here to okay, I do not have those commented out. And that is not turned to my directory P000, that's 755, that's good. Just in case. I don't want to lock anybody in the double O squared. As we can see, two checks, we are done initializing. So let's get started. Alright, Oz. We go to services. We go to console home. And we're going to go to S3. Okay. Now we're going to create a bucket here. And the name of the bucket is going to be cancel. We're going to go back to services here. And we're going to go to EC2. Find out what the name of this thing was. Before we do anything. We're going to do a very generic private domain name here. And let's see this one. This is our public domain name, PDNS. Let me go to back to what I was doing. Services, S3. Now we're going to create a bucket. What I just copied, the public DNS for this Amazon instance, create bucket, is going to be our root bucket. And it's very important that all of your buckets have the same region. So I've read. So we're going to create that. So that's one bucket created. Now we're going to repeat that for a logs bucket and for a subdomain bucket, a www.this URL. Create another bucket. We're going to do this, and we're going to do logs for logging purposes. So it'll write to logs. We're going to do US standard again. And once again, here we go. Okay, now we're going to go back, and the last one is going to be www.this right here, and we're going to select this for the region of US standard, and we're going to create that. And it did. Okay, so next up is next we're going to do add permissions. Excuse me, I'm a little groggy here. Bear with me. Bucket policy. I've got the bucket policy copy down. I got a generic bucket policy copy down. All we have to do is we have to edit the resource URL here. So we're going to go to this one. We're going to go to our root here, and we're going to go to the permissions on it. And then under the permissions on it, we're going to choose add bucket policy. Okay. And then under the add bucket policy, we're going to put that down. We're going to delete example, and then we're going to put the URL we chose as for our instance, or the generic name of our instance. Okay, and we're going to, which is not our instance ID. This is the generic ARN Amazon resource number, and we're going to save that. Now, if you do this properly, there's only one place with it on any bucket or within any bucket that you can create a bucket policy editor. Excuse me, a bucket policy, and it not spit you back an error. If this thing puts up a green check mark, we have done well, and we got a green check mark. So we're doing good here. We can continue rolling. All right. Now we're going to enable logging. Okay, we're going to do that under our the properties of our root bucket, and we're going to say enable, and we're going to say not logs. We're going to say root, which you can do that actually with logs, but you need to go inside of logs and do that. I do believe. No, we're going to choose logs. That is correct, I think. Is that right? Yeah, it is logs. Okay, make sure. Very good, very good. And we're going to save that. That's very important. When it's all said and done, we're going to have to come back and delete that, but we're not there yet. We'll get to that. All right, now we're going to upload files. Okay? And we're going to do that by going into our root buckets. First time I'm going to create a folder called images. It's called images. Yes, I am. Images. I think it's called images. Is that right? catindex.html. And that is images, correct. So we're going to create well, we already created a folder called images. We're going to go inside images. And we're going to upload, for the fancy of it, we're going to upload some photo file format files. Some files that were saved in a photo file format. Why they were saved in a photo file format, I don't know, but they are. Open. And we're going to do all of my FLVs that I've been attempting to create this amazing screencast. But not so amazing. And I hope that you can hear me well. I had to toy with the output levels percentage of my analog in order for this to work. Oh, no, that is not. That is it. And we're going to go to Start Upload. We're going to upload all three of those. And now we're going to go back to the root of our root bucket. You like the way I put that, didn't you? We're in the root of our root bucket right now. We're going to add titles. We're going to add the index. We'll just add error because that's fine with me. It's the first one I saw. And we're going to add another file. We're going to add index. We're going to add index HTML. Like this right here. Open. And that is correct. Start the upload. So we have now uploaded our files that we want to make our little static website hosting demonstration. And we're going to go back to all buckets, which is technically the root of where the buckets lie. And we are now going to look at the properties of our root buckets. We know it's our root because it tells you what root you're in, what bucket you're in. Bucket, this right here, which is going to be our root bucket, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, now we're going to go to static website hosting. All right, and we are going to put enable website hosting. We're going to put index HTML, and we're going to put error.html to handle both of the both. Okay. Now we are going to save these. What we're supposed to do, and we are going to go and choose our subdomain. We're not going to enter it. You'd be clicking on it, and then it would say buckets/subdomain. That is not the case right here. We are not doing that. We are going to now redirect our request to another host, and we are choosing to redirect all. We do not want to do that. We want to do we don't want to do this. We want to come back to this redirect here and redirect just come back here. We'll cancel. Cancel that request. We're gonna go back to this one. Why am I doing this? I forgot to get the endpoint. I'm too tired to remember that. I was trying to jog my memory, but I couldn't remember it. All it is S3 and website US East 1 and Amazon Oz. But it's been a long day. It's only gotten longer. 12 hours ago I was in an exam. So, this one right here. We are in the subdomain buckets. That is not what we're going to do. We're not going to do this. We're going to do this one right here. Right. We're going to save that. Okay. Now that that's saved, we're going to go up here. And I think we've done everything properly. We've enabled logging. We added permissions. We enabled logging. We uploaded our files. We chose the root domain. We enabled setting web hosting. We chose the subdomain. We did that. And we're going to test the website. Okay. We're going to put this in here, right here, and yes, we have this. Hello world. Jeffrey Wade presents a tribute to Debian, courtesy of a memorial of Amy just finding out 3 hours ago that Ian Murdoch died a month and a half ago. And as you can tell, here's the Debian emblem. That is Eva Mendes, one of the hottest Hispanic actresses in Hollywood and probably it's ever been. Root Eva. She is a Debian member. Okay, that's a little too much right there. I didn't know that was that risque. And here is Scarlett Johansson, considered to be one of the most beautiful people in the world, wearing a blazer with a Debian emblem on it. And she has got gorgeous eyes, and they really accents that Debian emblem, if you will tell that. Okay, so we have tested our website. We are done. Eva, you are very, very risque, girlfriend. You are very risky. So we will close this now. And our website has been tested. So now we will do this. We will go to the services. We will go to console home. I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is for if you have a domain, which in my case there is no domain name was not purchased. See, you can use Amazon to register new domains, transfer existing domains, or route traffic. I do not have a domain registered, so I don't need to worry about that. Correct? Correct. I don't think I need to worry about that anyway. I'm pretty sure I don't. So here's S3. Oops, no. Back services, back to the console home. Here is CloudFront. Something else we need to discuss here. And CloudFront getting started to create distribution reports and analysis. So that does exist. Now let's continue on with the assignment. As the professor of cloud computing wants us to do. Like I said, once again, I am very, very excited. This is my first ever screencast posted to YouTube. I have to do it for a grade, but if I didn't probably have to do it for a grade, I probably never got around to doing it. So now I've learned something for it. And when I submit the link via Blackboard to my professor, it will make me a very happy person. I promise you that. Okay, so I don't have... It does not appear that I have got a CloudFront instance running. Okay, so we are going to go to... Because I can't open up a console. I don't think... Can I? No. Open the context. Right-click menu for the distribution that you want to disable. Right-click the menu. Where's the menu? That means I don't have one. Okay. So, because it's asking me if I want to create a distribution. So let's go to Oz. We'll go here. All right. Now we're going to go to S3. We have done something in S3. and fast scalable storage. We're about to clean up our resources. We just showed off the website a little bit. You got to see Eva Mendez's Debian panties, and the nice blazer Miss Scarlett Johansson was rocking with the Debian paisley on her crest. And first things first, first thing we need to do before we delete any buckets is we have to disable the logs, because the logs will continue to write even if we disable the buckets, okay? And that could cause errors. So we're going to click on this. Oh, so excuse me. We're going to click on our root bucket here, and we're going to go to logging, and we're going to disable that, okay? And we're going to save that. We're going to do the same for permissions. We're going to go to edit bucket policy, and we're going to say delete. So we're going to delete that. Delete our policy. Close. We're going to save that. Okay. So now we're going to delete this bucket altogether. First off, I want to go down to static web hosting, site web hosting, and we're going to delete that as well. Do not. We're going to save that. Okay, now we can start deleting. So take this and delete the bucket. This bucket is the name of the bucket. We have to copy that. Control C. Remember, buckets are like constructed data types. They're containers that hold objects that can be used through Amazon Web Services. Now we're going to delete logs. Since it was second to come, it'll be second to go. It's fitting, isn't it? Delete the bucket. Here's the name of it. Control C. And delete that bucket. Actually, oh, I misspelled. I have logs. It's logs. Logs. So that one is done. Now we're going to go to this one. And yes, we don't need to worry about that. That thing is done. Delete the buckets. Delete this bucket. Control C, Control V, delete the buckets. The bucket has been deleted. Fair enough. Alright, guys. So, now we're going to go back to Oz. So we're going to go back to the EC2 console, the dashboard. You see the EC2 dashboard. We're going to go back to our running instance of our Linux, our Amazon Linux operating system. And here we are. We're going to check this out. We're going to look at it one time. Okay. And we're going to go to our public DNS, which this is what that is, I do believe. All right. Now we're going to do some system administration. Hopefully this works out. Okay. So we are going to first off, sudo status. We're going to check stuff out. SSH. We need to find out what's going on in our personal system. Ubuntu uses a mixture of both systemd and upstart services. So the sudo service name of the service, and then the command be passed as an argument to that service as using systemd, like most of your RPM-based systems, except for SUSE. Ubuntu does do that for quite a few processes, but it also uses Upstart, which is a Launchpad.net thing, I believe. SSH start running. Sudo stop SSH. Okay. So clear that. SSH should not be running. Exit that and exit that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do, I don't know why that is running. We're going to do this right here. SSH is supposed to be running on port 22. Control this. Alright, now we're going to say SSH. LS. It's very important that you turn your key, you make your key 0400. That way it's not a public key. It's a private key and it's only viewed by the user. Okay, so 0400. We're going to change the permissions on that. And then we are going to now connect to our, via SSH, to our Amazon instance here. Our Amazon Linux instance, EC2 user at that right there, and we should connect. And yes, we want to do that. And yes, and we have no problems this time. Beautiful. Okay, so we can use the manual pages to inspect what the system has on it, what it comes base with, and explore the system a little bit. This is Yum, Yellow Dog Update Modified, which is it's the group of programs that handle software administration and software updating from the repositories. On many RPMs, it's an RPM-based update method. With that said, we're going to say, let's see what directory we're in. We're in home EC2 user. Let's have a look at the file system. And here's your basic file system. It looks pretty much just like any except for the C group right here. This is the only difference I've seen. But besides the C group, it looks pretty much just like all of your other Linux operating systems. Well, there's Oz. What do you know good? Oz, hey, are you Oz? Hey, Oz. Okay, so we got some stuff here. Oz is hanging out in OPT. We know we just found Oz, didn't we? Okay, we're not talking about the Wizard of Oz either. So, something we want to do, if you look at something that is very key to helping you explore from command line any system, is the locate command. Okay, locate comes with mlocate and the mlocate.updatedb binary pipe, which we're about to install. So yum y install mlocate. BSD has a version of this. It's called locate.updatedb, and the usually on most Unix systems it's in user library execute user slash library execute slash locate.updatedb, but it never executes as fast on BSD or Macintosh, as well as mlocate. Solaris, Unix, Oracle 11.2 Solaris uses, so does OpenIndiana. They both use, though OpenIndiana does not use mlocate, but Solaris does. Okay, and almost all of your Linux operating systems have it on it. Out the box is standard. SUSE doesn't though. You have to install that from the repository. Enough of that though. So now we can locate something. Let's locate something. Let's update our DB. So we are also root. Okay, so we have permissions to do that. To do so, echo PS1 user ID. We're at group 500. We are also the wheel. So wheel gives us pseudo privileges. Okay. All right. So now back to what we were doing. So we just installed that, which we needed to install that. Okay. Now we gotta install some other things here. Because we want to install WordPress. We want to run WordPress on our next part of our. We're moving on to part 3 of this little assignment, which is hosting a WordPress blog with Amazon Linux. Okay, so we're going to install, configure, and secure a WordPress blog on Amazon Linux. These procedures are important. We have to do some prerequisite stuff. So we're going to do a yum. We're going to do a sudo yum search for Apache. What do we got here with Apache? We got Tomcat. Tomcat's running hard. I always Apache 2.2 would be just fine. Can we do that? There's Apache Commons, there's Apache Binary. Can we just do Apache 2.2, Apache Commons, Apache Bin? Yeah, close Apache Bin. I guess I might have to use Tomcat. I don't know. And let's search MySQL. Maybe we get 5.6. I'm not sure what they have in their repository here. Let's search for MySQL because we're gonna need that. Because if we have a blog and we have a login input box, of course we're gonna do they got 5.6. That's error messages for 5.6. They got the bench for 5.6. They got the libraries for 5.6. They got the MySQL server. Alright, I'm going to temporarily stop